Hi, this is Jason McKittrick from Cryptocurium, and this is Legends of Tabletop.
Hey everybody, this is John, and I have with me tonight, as usual, Vince.
Hey, people.
And we are also happy to have Jason McKittrick from Cryptocurium Custom Creations.
Hey there.
Try saying that 3 times fast.
Well, the second part I've been trying to take off from my Facebook page forever, but like they don't let you change it. So it's literally just Cryptocurium, but the other stuff is like leftover from years ago. So you can just stick with Cryptocurium.
All right, fair enough. That'll be easier for me.
Yeah.
So, what is Cryptocurium exactly? What are you doing over there?
Well, it's originally and mostly it's Lovecraftian themed art, sculptures, artifacts, that kind of thing, and then also on the side we have a monthly subscription box which focuses on horror, memorabilia, things like that.
Okay. And as you said, there's a strong Lovecraftian influence there. How were you introduced to Lovecraft's works?
Interestingly enough, Metallica.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're one album where they have the Call of Cthulhu song, and back in high school, like a lot of kids, I was listening to Metallica, and I saw that track, I was like, "What's Cthulhu?" And I went and found out, and I kind of got hooked.
And that'd be Ride the Lightning.
Right.
Something that's featured on. Back when they were still good.
Right, and not suing teenagers or whatever.
Yeah. And I guess did that lead you into the role playing game or more into the literature?
Definitely more into the literature. I have to be honest. I've only played the role playing stuff a very few amount of times. I've always been majorly into the lit, so yeah, that's been the main influence behind the work that I do.
Cool, very cool. You said you played Call of Cthulhu just a couple of times. Have you played any? Are you a role player at all, or don't have the time, or?
No, I honestly don't. I never leave my desk. Like I'm always, Cryptocurium is my full-time job, so it's all I really do. And then I have family life too. I have a wife and kids, so it's really hard to squeeze that other stuff in there. So I wish I could. I wish I had the time because I have plenty of friends that are like, oh, you got to run through, like Masks and Iron Laughter stuff. I'm like, I wish I had the time.
Very cool. That was one of the things I was going to ask you. So that's a full-time gig for you now. What were you doing before, and when did you kind of make that leap into full-time with Cryptocurium?
I had a bunch of typical kind of odd jobs kind of thing. I think the last thing I was doing was overnight security, and like that gave me the time to work on art and whatnot. I mean, I have a bachelor's degree from University of the Arts in Philadelphia, so I've always wanted to do something with art. And then after I got married and we had kids, it just kind of became like a necessity. I was like, well, this is the thing I'm good at, so I might as well just go for it. And here I am.
Cool, very cool.
Yeah, it worked out well.
That takes that. So I've got a list of questions here. We're slowly getting better at what we're doing here.
Sure.
So I was going to ask you if you had formal art training. So that's a yes. That's good. So when you started, was it strictly more Lovecraft pieces before you started doing the subscription box, or were you mixing other things in early on?
When I first started doing it seriously, and for my main kind of occupation, it really was all Lovecraft. That's really where I just kind of dove into it because number one, I've always had been a fan of the stuff, but I just never had a chance to really make anything. And then I was noticing, I was like, wow, not too many people are working on like Lovecraft stuff. I was like, so I might as well just go for it. So I just started making, like Cthulhu idols and some elder things, sculptures, and a few other things, and it just kind of just panned out from there. The subscription box thing has only been within the last year. That's been a new thing. So.
Yeah, you just passed your 1-year anniversary about a month ago, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Cool, and I guess that's going well for you then.
Yeah, no, it's doing well. The first 6 or 7 months we had some Lovecraft stuff in the box, but the crossover between those two fan bases is not as much as you would think. You would think that most horror fans are Lovecraft fans, maybe, but really no. Most people were getting this stuff. Oh, what is this? This Lovecraft thing. I'm like, well, so I've kind of separated it out. So I try to do more regular Lovecraft things, so people who are into that they can get stuff, whereas the other people who are more general horror, they can just stick with that.
It is sort of a niche kind of a thing.
Yeah, I forget because I'm so into it. I'm always talking to people who are into Lovecraft. I forget that most 98% of people are like, who is H.P. Lovecraft?
They're like, just show me lots of blood, lots of slashing. That's
Right.
House in the woods or cabin in the woods and all that kind of thing.
Right, which has its place, but it's definitely not Lovecraftian.
Yeah. Now, do you specifically make pieces for people to use in their Call of Cthulhu games? Any specific idols that are mentioned in the literature and stuff like that?
I didn't originally, but after I found out that a lot of folks were buying them and either incorporating into their gaming, either like tabletop or LARPing, which was like a big thing about. A lot of people were using it for their live action role-playing stuff. I tried to get a little more sort of specific, where I wanted to have idols of most of the deities and creatures, so people who were doing whatever, they could kind of work it into. I think just recently, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Mike Bukowski. He does the Yog-Blood Soth. He has a whole, he's illustrated every Lovecraftian creature.
Right.
And we just did a thing together. He did a book of a whole bunch of Nyarlathotep's avatars, and then I did a sculpture based off of one of them that we kind of came up with together. That was the people that picked that up were mostly folks that are really into the gaming.
Cool. Yeah, when we ran into you at Necronomicon, I got a little Cthulhu here that I picked up specifically for my Cthulhu dice game to mark who the hell's turn it actually is.
Yeah, that's the mini Cthulhu idol.
Yeah, something I could throw in a bag and
right.
Take along with us. That's kind of convenient, man. I tell you, get into that game and in 2 minutes you forget who the hell's turn it's supposed to be because you're going back and forth and it's fun, but it can be confusing if you're not paying attention. So how long does it take you to make an individual? Do you sketch everything out first? Do you just I
actually never sketch anything out. I kind of just start sculpting. I mean, I'll have an idea of what I want to do. Obviously, whatever creature or character or whatever it is going to be, and I kind of just go for the sculpture because there's a thing. This is very artsy, but there's something that gets lost when you do a sketch. Sometimes you kind of oh, well, this looks great, and this is what I want it to be, and then you go to sculpt that. It's there's a disparity between the two. So I like to just dive in and do the sculpture, and it kind of evolves on its own. And I find for me that's the best way to have things come about.
Okay, and how long does it typically take you to make an individual piece?
They vary in size, so it's there's not really a set thing. I mean, sometimes I've whipped out a sculpture in a day, and then sometimes there's ones that, for example, I just had an idol of Sathagwa that I just finished. I've been working on that for over a year. So.
Oh wow!
Damn.
It's just a little bit of a bugger,
huh? It just I used him as a warm up kind of cool down sculpture. If I was working on something else, I would start working on him first, so I was warmed up, and then I would start I would work on my other thing. And so
right.
I finally finished it. So
cool. And also within the well, I'm going to jump all around here. So for your subscription box set, box set. Well, I guess you could call it that. You also include there's some so you do magnets, and then there's also usually a hand-drawn a sticker or some kind of art or something along those lines as well.
Yeah, it's somewhat formulaic. There's a slasher magnet that comes in every one, which is actually that series is sort of coming to an end because that kind of ran through all the slashers, so now it's kind of going to be a general monstery creature kind of thing. But there's usually a magnet and there's a wall plaque, and the wall plaques were up until recently all Lovecraft themed. Like I did different scenes from different stories, and then there's a sticker. We did Universal Monsters for a while, and then sometimes it'll be a limited edition print. I did them for the most part, and then in the last couple months, I just started bringing in other illustrators to kind of vary the output, so it's not all just me, because as the amount of subscribers kind of like grow, I can't do it all by myself.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool. And everything is pretty much made to order then, I guess. So there's not like a huge backlog of material there to purchase later on.
No, I don't keep any stock. I mean, it's not possible for me to. Everything is made to order, and that's kind of what translates to, if you look, like some of the time the wait times. I mean, right now it's like a wait time if you order something. It's just I make everything by hand. It's not something. I'm not Amazon. The stuff has to be made and produced, and the person making it is the same person boxing it and then shipping it. So it's
right.
Yeah.
How long? Well, I guess you said it varies on the thing. So when you're going to do a box for the month, does it take you literally the whole month to get everything together between crafting the sculptures and?
Yeah, because usually I finish one and then I'll take a day to breathe and then I just start right back to the next one.
Right, that's crazy. That's a crazy schedule.
Yeah, it's getting kind of crazy.
Do you prefer one type of art over another? Like, do you prefer to get hands-on and get in, do the sculpting, or do you prefer more of the, hand drawn out, like the, stuff for the magnets and all that kind of thing?
Well, sculpting is my favorite medium, of choice, but drawing and other things kind of have their place, and especially for how busy I am, it's good to kind of shift gears sometimes, because I'll be sculpting something for a while, and it's like, well, now I get to draw something, so like I can kind of loosen up a little bit. Like drawing at this point is kind of like an exercise for me, so it's like, okay, But I do prefer the sculpture. It's what I think I'm the best at.
Cool. Do you have any intention to re-release any of your previously sold out stuff? Do you keep? I guess you have molds, or how does that work when you're?
Yeah, I mean, if someone contacts me and they're like, oh, there's a piece that came out a couple years ago, I really want it. If I still have the sculpture, the original, and or if I still have the mold or the ability, I'll see what I can do for them. It's usually I just take them out of production. It's either that I don't like the piece anymore because I've made it too many times, or I'm just tired of it, or sometimes there have been folks who have wanted to purchase the original, which I do in very, very rare cases, but I have, and then it's like, well, I can't make anymore because the original's gone and the mold is shot. So.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So this month's Parcel of Terror is based on Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
So for anybody who's watching this live or catches this in the next couple of days, you'd have to have your order in by January 31st. And I guess that'll ship out on the 31st then, or on the 1st of February.
No, you get your order in by the 31st, and that locks you in to get it for the month of February. If you have the box for February, you'll get it towards the end of that month.
Gotcha.
So I get the numbers in, basically. I see who's going to get it, and then I have that whole month to produce, the amounts that I need to ship out. So whenever you're getting, a box, if you're getting, let's say, this month, January, this one's not going to ship out until almost, the second to last day of the month. It's just that, I need that much time to get them all done.
Sure, the logistics of it and all, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you, like I said earlier, we ran into you up at Necronomicon. Do you do a lot of conventions?
No, Necronomicon's the only one I do.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, conventions are great. I mean, I'll go to them every once in a while, but it doesn't seem to be very conducive to specifically art, because most of the ones that I've been to are so crowded that most people don't have time to stop and look at stuff.
Yep.
Like, the T-shirt guys, they probably make out well. The movie guys, they make out well. But if, anyone who's, sitting there and you have to stop and look, it's just, I don't know. And the overhead on some of those things, like, that they want you to pay, is like through the roof. So I do
You're lucky
Necronomicon.
to break even sometimes.
Exactly, or lose money, and especially. I live in New Jersey. I forget where you guys are at, but I think Texas.
Where in New Jersey are you?
Tom's River.
Oh, okay. I'm in Maple Shade. I'm not that far of an hour or so.
Oh, I thought you guys were like across the country or something.
I'm in Arizona.
John is. He's over on the crap coast.
Yeah, I'm over in Arizona now, but I was in New Jersey. All that time that I was listening to the MU podcast, I never realized you were literally down the road.
Yeah.
Oh, what town do you live in?
I lived up in Burlington County in Lumberton. But
Oh my God, my wife up until about a year ago, she worked in Lumberton.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
God damn, that's pretty funny.
Small world.
And Maple Shade, I go back and forth to Philly all the time, so I pass through Maple Shade all the time.
Yeah, right off of 3873.
Yep.
295 corridor.
Yep, there it is.
That's pretty crazy. How did Necronomicon work out for you? Were you able to schmooze a little bit and kind of get around and take in the sights, or are you pretty much locked into the table the whole time?
Yeah, I was able to walk around a little bit more this time. Last time I brought my wife, and she's not really into this kind of stuff. I mean, she likes some horror stuff, but Lovecraft. Like I try to get her to read stuff, and she's just not into it, and that's fine. So I kind of had to stick to the table because she couldn't really answer many of the questions and that kind of thing. But this time I brought a buddy of mine from college who's also an artist. So he was able to, hang out, stay by the table because, it's great to go to Necronomicon, make some money, but I was really there to like see people and check out some of the panels and,
Exactly.
It's just, and even if I didn't have a table, I don't even know how you can make it all those things. Everything just seems to be like jam packed for like. The one panel I made it to was the one where you guys were at the HP Podcraft one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was packed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked to Chris, I guess, maybe about 2 weeks ago now. Beginning of the month, we had Chris on. Yeah. He was fun to hang around with. We ran into him a couple times while we were there, but, so many people being pulled in so many directions, it's, kind of tough.
Yeah, Chris is a good guy. I gave him a hard time last time I saw him because he forgot my name, so I really gave it to him, and I don't know if he's going to listen to this podcast, but he was supposed to apologize to me on the podcast.
Ooh.
Oh, Chris.
God damn. Right.
So you should have told us. We would have made him do it. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. He's a busy guy.
We'll let him know. He failed in his duty to rectify that.
And then he just forgot again. It's okay.
Yeah, just one forget after another.
All right.
We'll have to blast him on social media.
I've only been listening to his podcast since the first episode.
Hmm.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's loyalty.
Were you on any panels at Necronomicon? I don't remember.
Yeah, I was on one, kind of an oddball one. It was called Sculpting the Indescribable. A couple other artists. And it was at the same time as something, the HP Lovecraft Historical Society was doing something, so there was like 6 people on my panel.
Oh, that sucks.
Which, fair enough. Who wants to, I don't want to hear sculptors talk about anything. I just want to see what they sculpt.
Yeah. That's cool. Did you make it out to any of the parties or anything?
Did I?
I didn't see it at Oscars.
No, I didn't make the Oscars because that night I went up to dinner with another artist friend, Gage Prentice. I don't know if you know his work. He works in Providence, and he's the guy who did the plaque for the H.P. Lovecraft Memorial Square there in Providence.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's got his work is fantastic. Anyway, we were hanging out with him that night, so I couldn't make it because it's like I don't see these people maybe every 2 years when there's an Necronomicon. It's like everyone wants to have dinner and hang out. I'm like,
there's not enough time.
So many days.
That's not a whole week.
Yeah.
Not just 4 days.
So.
It was a very long couple of days. We got up super early and were out late, and
that was really fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Really, not for anything. You need the 2-year recovery time.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Save money and recover.
Sure.
Well, it makes it a little bit more special too. You know, it's not something that they're doing every year, every 6 months or something like that. To really kind of
Yeah.
build up that anticipation, and
Yeah,
you know, it's a big party when you get there.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, and Lovecraft is such a a niche kind of thing. It's like a year, 2 years is good breathing room.
Oh
Mm.
yeah.
So I'm guessing if you're not doing any of the role playing games, you're not doing any of the Lovecraftian video games either.
I video console gaming I can get into because I have PS4. I've had PlayStation since they started, and I'm like I've had game systems since Atari. So
Yeah.
Yep.
those I can try to squeeze in time. But they're so few and far between anything that's like quote unquote Lovecraftian that it's like
Yeah, it's more you gotta search for themes if you really want to get something that gets that kind of feel to it. There's a handful out there, I guess.
Yeah, there's not many, but they are good.
Yeah, I think the last one that was, it wasn't heavily Lovecraftian, but that I really enjoyed was the last Dead Space that was out. That was pretty.
Mm.
You basically fight, this giant tentacle, deity at the end. So it was like, oh yeah, this is Lovecraft territory, but not the. Nobody dies of apoplexy at the end. We actually fight them.
This is always
Nobody
a good
faints. Yeah.
Always a good thing.
What sort of games do you normally gravitate to? Are you playing Fallout at all or no?
I never jumped on the Fallout bandwagon. I wish I had. I usually do play horror games. The last the last game I played big into was Alien Isolation.
Hmm.
I really enjoyed that. What did I play else? Batman Arkham Knight I really liked.
Yeah.
God, what other ones were I playing? Usually anything horror I'm really into. I was hoping that they were going to come up with that new Silent Hill game, but that isn't going to happen now. That would have been great. Usually horror type games I'm usually into. Survival horror, whenever they come out with one, I'll usually check out.
Sure. That's cool. So well, we'll completely jump out all the gaming and stuff. Did you went to go see Star Wars, right?
Absolutely.
What did you think? Are we away from spoilers at this point? I mean, it's been like a month.
If you haven't seen Star Wars by now or heard something about it, then there's no hope for you.
So spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I don't know your guys' feelings on it. I don't know why it's getting heat. I loved it. I love Star Wars. I really loved it. I was there opening night. Me and my wife went, and then the next night I took my daughter because she's getting into it, and I was like a kid again. I really liked it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I went. I didn't go Thursday night, but I went Friday for a matinee,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it had the spirit of the original, the humor, and lots of action.
Right.
It's an action movie, so there's plot holes in it. Like, get over it. It's not Shakespeare.
All movies have plot holes in it. It's a movie. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
The original Star Wars movies had holes in it. Just sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. When my daughter came back from spending Christmas with my ex, we went to go see it again, and she was totally into it. She turned to me at one point and goes, "It just gets you in all the feels." And
What exactly are feels?
Feels, all the feels.
What
What is it? It's emotional. It just means it's emotional.
Oh, okay.
But she's not, she didn't grow up watching it. I mean, I love it. I grew up with it. I saw the original at a drive-in when I was like 5. So the prequels were horrible.
And you were the product of another drive-in, weren't you?
Yeah, it's possible. But she didn't, she didn't really grow up watching them. But she went and she had a really good time. She enjoyed it too. So yeah, I don't know why it's getting such a bad rap.
I remember seeing Empire Strikes Back at a Twin Eric Theater in the Morristown Mall.
Yeah.
That was fun.
And no Lucas means we have better movies.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Well, he directed the first one, and then, as you could tell, he directed that, and then the Empire and Jedi were not directed by him, and you could tell.
Because they're better.
Yes. On a variety of levels.
Well, I'll give them this on the first one. They didn't know that they were going to get to make any more. So it's, more condensed. It's its own little story, where Empire is so good because there's just so many unanswered questions. They're just left with like, what the fuck? That's it?
Yeah, there's a lot of story arcs there.
Yeah, and you could tell the first one that they had, he had no idea that Darth Vader was going to be Luke Skywalker's father. Spoilers, sorry guys.
God damn it, you ruined it.
You could tell he had no idea that that's where that was going to go because, Vader taking orders from, Grandma Tarkin.
Yeah. Which was funny, and you get a juxtaposition of that in this one with Kylo Ren and what was his name, Hawks. I forgot the hell the guy's name is.
Oh, General Hux. Yeah.
Hux. Yeah. Kind of got him on a short leash.
Yeah.
What's your who do you think Ren is gonna, or not Ren? Rey. Is that gonna be Luke's daughter? Do you think, or what?
I'd say, like, just the way they're showing it, like, without a doubt. I mean, how could you resist having, two cousins fight each other,
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
What's that?
No, being funny. So it's kind of incestuous.
Well, yeah, but I absolutely think that's Luke's daughter. I mean, who's the mother? Who knows? But
yeah,
it just seems that all signs point to that, and I hope it is because that would make her a very interesting character. I mean, and they would have wasted all that, that building of showing her, with, Luke and Anakin like traits, tinkering with things on the sand planet kind of thing, outsmarting everybody else around them. I think it kind of has to be, and when they show her around Leia and Han, they kind of have like this knowing look, like they know who she is, and it's like the whole thing with the lightsaber calling to her. Who else could she be?
Yeah. So I didn't get the feeling that they knew who she was, or I guess maybe I just wasn't looking for it because I'm like, well, because you'd think that they would know and Kylo would know. Like, how do you keep that a secret?
Well, I think he kind of knows too, because there's that one scene where he's like, he freaks out and he's like slashing at the stuff, and then I think the guy says to him, he's like, and there was a girl, and then he turns around and chokes. He's like, what girl? Like, it's almost like he knows there's a cousin out there, or, you know what I mean? He knows the offspring of Luke. Like, almost that may have been the thing that made him, kind of like finally, turn to the dark side. Luke was there, supposed to be training, and then here he is having a kid. I mean, I'm just guessing, but it could have been something like that.
Okay, maybe. That's all the debate right now. So I just
18 months. We got to wait 18 months.
Yeah. I found out I stayed away from all spoilers. I didn't read anything, watch anything. But I did go to search out because I was interested to see whether or not the Rogue Squadron was going to be affiliated with the movie in its current, incarnation, or if it was going to be, more like in the original era. And apparently it's going to be original era, like it's going to be, while they were still fighting the first Death Star kind of thing.
Right. Isn't the story of like the Bothan spies and how they got the plans for the Death Star?
I don't think I looked that close. I just kind of wanted to see what the time frame was.
Okay.
Return of the Jedi got spoiled for me when I was younger, with Boba Fett dying and Luke and Leia. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I just tried to stay away from absolutely everything.
Right. That's a good idea.
Well, my kid, we watched The Walking Dead, and she's reading all the spoilers for what's coming up in the rest of the season. I'm like, what's wrong with you? She's like, I know who dies. I'm like,
they change a lot, though. They change a lot from the comics to the show, so it's not always reliable.
Well, I guess she's watching, she's looking up spoilers for, whatever's going on with the show.
Yeah.
Do you read the comic or no?
I don't read the comics. I actually don't even really watch the show. My wife loves it, so I watch it with her. So I kind of, if I'm going to have to watch it, I don't know. Actually, I'm not a huge fan of the show. I think it's okay. I just think every season they kind of do the same thing, just in a different location.
Kinda, yeah.
It's it's what it is. People like it, so I watch it with my wife. So it's like, well, might as well let's see what's going to happen coming up. So I looked at the comic stuff.
Yeah, we got into it. I never read the comics. And again, for as popular as the show is, and maybe that's why, it just gets blasted for, again, plot holes and, very simple characterizations and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I like it. It's got zombies in it.
I don't know. I completely understand. I completely understand the appeal. I just, for me, it kind of got a little stale.
Okay. Do you collect comics at all, or?
Yeah. I still do. I have a pretty large collection of X-Men, Amazing Spider-Man, and Batman. So.
The three main food groups there.
Well, I was I was a teenager in the '90s, so it was like X-Men, Amazing Spider-Man, and Batman. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you watch the animated Batman back when it was on?
That's my favorite show of all time.
Yeah, I love amazing.
General consensus with that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you collect the comics while they were doing them, or no?
Yeah, I have them all.
Yeah, I picked them up too.
Yep, the Batman Adventures. Yeah, and now I got my oldest daughter into it. She loves the cartoon, and she got the comics too, her own copies.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So.
It was always really well written. I mean, it was just really well done all the way around.
Yep. To this day, I still say the best Batman was Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Mark Hamill as the Joker is just amazing.
Oh, legendary.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, Heath Ledger is good too. You can't take anything away from that. But Mark Hamill's Joker is.
Yeah,
so good.
You gotta compare. It's like Heath Ledger worked the character maybe 2 years. Mark Hamill's been working with them 22 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Now, had you heard? I brought this up on the podcast before, but I thought I read somewhere, and I just saw it again. I think on Facebook, that they may be doing the Killing Joke as an animated Batman.
Oh, it's set. They're going to do it. It's going to be with Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill.
Awesome! Oh, I can't wait for that.
Like when they said that, I was like, "Yep, that's it." I was like, "Just don't let me die before that. I need to see that."
Well, he's a busy guy right now.
Oh, absolutely. But there was some interview with him, but like he takes care of all of his scenes, and then he can do voiceover work. Not really a problem because it's just in a studio. So
sure.
I want to see that so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you guys did you see they did an animated of the Dark Knight Returns a couple of years ago. It was like a 2-parter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it was voiced by what's his name? The guy who played RoboCop. What's his name? Peter Weller. Yeah, and he did a really, really lackluster version of Batman. And I don't know who played Joker. I would be like, they should do a Kickstarter to get that movie just redubbed with Hamill
nice.
and Conroy, because it's awesome, and it's the greatest Batman story ever, and it's like, and they threw it away on those two guys. Not that there's anything wrong with Peter Weller, but he phoned that in. If you guys ever have a chance to watch it because the animation's good, but like it was like I don't know what he was doing, but I would love to see that done by those two guys.
Yeah, for sure. Anything done by those two guys.
Oh yeah. If there's a Batman animated movie that's out there, even like the ones that don't even look good, it's like, oh, Conroy's doing the voice. Yeah, I'll watch
it. Yeah, no, for sure. Huh. Well, that's cool. I'll definitely be looking forward to that because I had heard it and I didn't know if it was a rumor or just fan speculation or.
No, because Hamill signed on for sure, and then like a couple days ago, he like tweeted a picture they both did of the two of them in the studio together. They're like, well, there you go.
Nice. Cool. So, yeah. That's awesome. I wonder if they'll do that in the theater.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Remember Mask of the Phantasm? Did you see that in the theaters?
I did, yeah.
Yep, me too.
Very good. I've got a VHS copy of it. All those original things I have all on VHS. I got to go back and pick them all up on DVD.
I have the VHS of that, and I still have the movie novelization of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I might have that.
Well, because
In a
it came out
box.
it came out like a month before the movie did, and I was a Batman fanatic, so I was just like, I have to know what happens.
Well, I'm sure you get along really well with Mike Davis then. He's all Batman. If it's not Lovecraft, it's Batman.
Well, Batman's one of the greatest characters ever created, so how could you not be?
Yeah, yeah. Although, Lackey was saying that he didn't get into Batman so much. He's like, well, I'm not a billionaire. I'm not a whatever. I didn't lose my parents. But
Yeah, but you're human, and everybody else around you if Batman's human, he takes on gods, basically, with just being human. Yeah, you could say his superpower is his wealth or his, supreme intelligence, but at the end of the day, he's just a guy.
Yeah, getting the shit beat out of him.
Yeah, because you could look at all the, the pantheon of DC heroes or even all the Marvel heroes, and you could look at them and be like, I can't ever be those people. But Batman, if I work hard enough, maybe I could, he's at least somewhat attainable.
Yeah, for sure. What do you got going on over there, Vince?
Not too much. You?
Questions-wise, I don't care how you're doing.
I know. Gotta try to be funny every once in a while. You did a really good job with the questions. You said you didn't have too much time for games. If you did have time for gaming, what would be your go-to game? What would you like to play or try to play?
I definitely try to get into the Call of Cthulhu role playing because so many people have told me how they play and all this great stuff, and I think everyone who's suggested like, oh, if you ever do, you got to try Masks of Nyarlathotep. But now I'm intrigued. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to try that.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Do you listen to any actual play podcasts to kind of make up for the fact that you can't get any gaming in?
I started to after after I started sponsoring the Miskatonic University podcast. I started listening to some of their play stuff, and it's definitely interesting because it's I totally understand the mechanics of it, and I could totally jump into it. And I was like, okay, and it's really great, the whole character kind of thing about it, where it's like you got this character going on in your head for however many months or even years, and then it could just be gone one day. I'm like, that's pretty awesome, that's that you could just have so much invested in it, and it's like, oh, it's over. So.
Shout out to RPPR because we talk about everybody on here. They do a lot of Call of Cthulhu as well.
Mm-hmm.
They don't edit down time-wise at all. So I mean, they may post a 6-hour game, as opposed to giving you an hour a week or whatever.
Right.
But they do a lot of Cthulhu, and they're actually running through the Masks campaign right now.
Oh, I'll definitely check it out then. Yeah, because I listen to podcasts while I'm working, so I always have something on. So a 6-hour podcast is actually kind of cool. So I'll check it out.
You should probably listen to us first, whoever's listening to this later. But they do a lot of that. I mean, they run tons and tons of games.
Cool.
We're certainly not anywhere near as prolific, but just starting today, we released our first AP for Final Flight. It was a charity game that Adam Scott Clancy ran for us for Extra Life Charity. So that went up to that's called Call of Cthulhu game too, and that was about 6.5 hours at least.
Wow.
So, but we edit down, so we do about an hour a week, hour and a half every week.
Yeah, that's not so crazy though. I mean, if you were if you're a hardcore console gamer, you're dumping at least that much in every time.
Yeah, one time I played through Civ. Like I was working nights. I came home from work. I popped in Civ 2 and literally played through till the sun came up and went fuck. I gotta go try to crash for like an hour now.
Yeah.
Those were the days before responsibilities.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
It's been a long time.
It sure has.
Yeah. Cool. You have anything else over there, Vince?
Not that I can think of. You did a pretty good job, sir, as usual.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Did that get you in the fields?
It did get me in the feels.
Fucking fields.
It totes got me in the feels.
I'm gonna reach over and slap you across the internet.
Shit. That went a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be. And
we still have the final 5, although you did sort of answer 2 of them already, but
kind of. We could still hit you. Do you have anything else that you're currently working on,
plug?
Jason?
You want to talk about any events coming up for yourself?
I mean, I have a few things running right now that kind of just a couple things that like recently are new. I mentioned before I have this. It's an idol of Sithagwa. It's my newest piece. It's a limited of 50. They're about half gone already. Anyone that might be interested in that. It comes with a burlap sack for storage with the Miskatonic University logo on it, and a little catalog letter from the Miskatonic University Special Collections Department. Letting you know about the detailing the discovery of the piece, and then also I just started because I'm not really going to have Lovecraft items in my subscription box anymore. I'm going to start doing regular releases of these small, calling them shrine idols. They're small idols, about 5 inches tall. All the basically all the Lovecraftian deities, creatures, whatever you want to call them. And I started off with the outer gods, so that's Nyarlathotep, Azathoth, Yog-Sothoth, and Shub-Niggurath. So they are also available.
And you're gonna have coming up, I guess. Is it next month? Maybe you're gonna have all the slasher magnets for sale coming up.
Right. That's actually right now. This week, they're available this week. If anyone happens to be a subscriber out there or was planning on becoming a subscriber, this is the way you could catch up and get all the ones that came out this past year for 2015. It's 12 of them in all. You can get all of them, or you could just get 1 or 2 of them if you want. But they're just go to my website, Cryptocurium.com, and they're all up there.
Sweet.
Yep.
Then we'll throw up in the show notes the link to the site and Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff. Yeah,
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Although stuff just seems to get lost on Facebook these days. We don't pay for it. It's just like no one ever seems to see anything anymore. So I seem to focus on Instagram more.
Yeah, that Instagram seems to be the big thing now. Facebook's a little passé, I guess.
Yeah, it's for like the family stuff, I think.
It's good. I mean, you got to have a foot in all the social medias, I guess. So.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you have a Tumblr or no?
Yes, I do. It's just look up Cryptocurium, you'll find it. It's linked to my Instagram, so if you don't follow the Instagram, just follow the Tumblr, and you'll get the same posts.
Same thing. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, we wind up setting up a Tumblr too. It just posts from the site, so a lot of things repeat, but
yeah,
you
get your bases.
yeah, because some people only use certain medias and not others, so you gotta try to catch them all. It's like Pokemon.
Oh man, a Pokemon reference. The night is now complete.
Yeah.
That was all the thing when we were growing up.
I managed to avoid the fucking Pokemon craze. My nephews are into it now.
You go to the mall in the '90s and they have all the comic store would have all their tables out in the hallway and they have all kinds of kids playing Pokemon on Friday nights or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they still do.
Yeah, that was after my time. It was like the craze when I was younger. I think it was like, remember Pogs? Remember those?
Oh yeah.
That was insane. They were just little pieces of cardboard. Insane.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, it's all in the marketing.
Rock mentality.
Yeah, right, exactly.
All right, Vince, if you don't have anything else, I guess we could transition into the final 5 here.
Yeah, have at it.
And I still have the paper, so I didn't have to get up and run away.
Nice. That like years from now, that's gonna be all weathered and shit. We'll have to get it laminated and signed.
Well, I'll rewrite it at some point.
Well, save the original one just so you can see the.
Okay.
We'll have to put in like a time capsule or some shit.
Gotcha. We put it in the book.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. So we have 5 geeky / nerdy related questions we'll throw at you. You can either just shout out a yes or a no, or if you want to get in and talk about it a little bit, we could do that too.
Yeah, I'm a nerd. Go for it.
All right. I think we know the answer to this one, but this is on here. Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Yeah, hands down, right?
Yeah.
Did you grow up watching Star Trek at all? Like my dad used to watch it, so it was on TV. I watched it.
I didn't, and my dad wasn't he wasn't a sci-fi fan at all, so I kind of came to Star Wars and all those things like on my own. I watched a little bit of Next Generation, but I just, Star Wars has the Force and lightsabers, so it's okay.
Well,
and
it's prettier too. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to say that makes it more real, but it's a dirty, lived-in universe where everything in Star Trek is shining and lots of chrome. And
yeah, and I can't put down Star Trek. I think that I understand the appeal absolutely, and what do they credit Star Trek with? Like almost all the technological advances, like cell phones and Wi-Fi and all this crazy stuff. It's like, well, it started in Star Trek, and now we have it. So it's.
Yeah, for sure. Did you ever watch Battlestar Galactica?
I never have ever seen anything of that. I know what it is, Cylons, all that stuff. I know what they are, but I just never got into it.
Okay. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, that they got sued by Lucas because I guess the original came out not very long after Star Wars came out, and I guess there was enough similarities that it caused a little bit of trouble, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure.
I think. But yeah, I used to watch that too. It was enjoyable. Anyway.
Yep. Lauren Green and Dirk Benedict.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was good. I guess you didn't watch the new one then either?
No.
I started to, and then, whatever.
Pulled out.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay.
Was it on the Sci-Fi Channel?
It might have been. I don't even remember. But I think it was on like
There's something about shows on the Sci-Fi Channel. It's just like,
their movies are bad.
Oh, their movies are intentionally bad, but their series, I think they really go for it. It's just like, no, it's not good.
Yeah.
But they have like Sharknado 5 at this point.
At least 3.
Yeah.
Did you see those? I don't watch any of them.
No, what do you need to see? It's a tornado made of sharks. I don't think there's going to be a twist ending.
There's not much else.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like a win-win. Well, I guess their huge follow-up to that was the Sharktopus, or whatever the hell it was called.
Yeah, and it's like Sharktopus. Yeah, and then it's like versus like some other creature. It's they're milking it.
All right. Tabletop or video games?
Personally, I've played more video games, and I have an 8-bit Jason Voorhees tattoo, so I kind of have to say,
nice.
Console. But tabletop, I'd love to put more time into. I mean, but I have to go. Yeah, I have to go with video gaming.
No. Do you do any board gaming at all, card games or anything like that, or no?
Let me see. I haven't in a long time. I'm like boring on the game front right now. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. Hey, it's a huge investment in time, even with some of the board games. I mean, you look at Arkham Horror or something like that. You're in for 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah, I've painted a couple. I've had a couple people have me paint the pieces for those, but I never actually played. Yeah, it was like Mansions of Madness or something, I think it was called.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantasy. When they say big box games, Fantasy Flight takes that to the nth degree.
Yeah, yeah. Although the what was that Cthulhu Wars, the one the Sandy Peterson one, that looked really amazing, and I was going to
Mhm.
get in on it, and I turned around and it was over. I was like, damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bit pricey. They just finished up a second Kickstarter, I guess maybe about a month ago,
Yeah.
and it looks amazing. And he was demoing the game at Necronomicon. We got to watch a little bit of it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it looks in the minis. I mean, you get your money's worth for sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
It looks great. The minis look great.
yeah, especially if you are able or enjoy painting.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
there's a lot for you to do.
Yeah.
Uh, DC or Marvel?
Oh, oh my God, it's so tough. I'm gonna say Marvel because Marvel exists in the real world, and although I love Batman so much, I grew up like more in the Marvel universe. There was just something always about their universe that seemed more like tangible to me. I think I don't know. Their heroes are just seemed like more like real people. And I mean, at the end of the day, what does DC have? Like three guys that are all right. Marvel's got like how many? It's
Yeah.
yeah. I'd have to go Marvel. They were always even what back in the '70s during the heydays, it was like they were always the edgier ones. They were the ones that were always like pushing the envelope, and then DC was trying to catch up. And now it just continues with the cinematic stuff. It's like Marvel's on the cutting edge, and DC's like, oh, here's one movie, and we're gonna put 80 superheroes in it. Not to
Yeah.
knock DC, but I think Marvel's even though they weren't the original, I think Marvel's the superior universe. And I know people will argue that to death, but I prefer Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I'm just like really just a Batman guy more than
Yeah,
anything. I mean, like you say, DC's got a couple of properties. Superman would be the other big one, and then outside of that, what do you have?
yeah, yeah. I mean, Flash has been doing well on their TV show, and they've got Green Arrow. Yeah, I mean they've got the Justice League, but like Marvel has like how many successful teams?
Yeah. Yeah. But Justice League was awesome growing up. Used to watch that Saturday mornings.
Oh yeah, me too. And I had all the action figures, the superpowers. They were awesome.
Yeah. Those are that when cartoons were actually good. Now you turn on TV on set. You're lucky to even find a cartoon on a Saturday anymore.
Yeah, and the cartoons that are on, like the one that my kids watch, it's like, or they'll just be, like flipping through. They're insane. Like I'm like, what am I watching? Like most of it's like there was, I forget what the one show was like. I think it was called Breadwinners. The whole show was just about asses. The whole show was
What?
about asses. Look up a trailer, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Breadwinners.
Huh. Sure they didn't have the Comedy Channel on?
No, no, this was on Cartoon Network. Yeah.
Well, they could be kind of edgy. When my kid was younger, we used to watch Billy and Mandy and
Yeah.
Foster's Home and all that kind of stuff, and they were, not necessarily nice, I guess, but they were really funny. Dexter's Lab before that got
Oh yeah.
crappy.
Oh yeah.
All that stuff. I miss the good cartoons. Did you ever watch the Last Airbender, the original series?
I started watching the first, like, people were like, oh, the movie's coming out, you're going to have to check it out because these movies are going to take over the world. I was like, all right, I'll start watching it. And then that movie came out. I was like, I don't care anymore.
Don't judge the cartoon by the movies.
I know. I watched what was it, the Book of Air, or the Book of Water, whatever it was.
I think Water was the first one.
Water, okay. I watched that one, and that was great. Yeah, no, that was really great. There's too many things to try to watch.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I will get back to that one though, because that one was I liked what I saw, and I just didn't get a chance to get back into it.
I would dare to put that series on the level of the animated Batman series.
Stop.
I'm telling you, it's really, really good.
There you go.
I watch it with my kid, and I tell you, I wound up watching it more than she did. I don't know.
I'll say it probably is good, but does any one episode stack up to, let's say, Heart of Ice?
No. Or so it's like a tier below. Like it's like the B team. Like if you can't watch Batman.
Right. I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's good, but it's not, like legendary. Like Batman the Animated Series. You look back and it's like just every episode, just all killer, no filler, just fantastic.
Yeah, it's
I'll
pretty
give you that. I'll give you that. I overreached.
You
It's
did.
okay.
You fuck.
Sci-fi or fantasy?
Sci-fi.
Okay.
I might, and I'll say that just simply because my favorite movie of all time is Alien.
The original.
Yeah.
The original, yeah.
That's up there with everything about it is just it's like so tight, well put together from the plot to the dialogue it's just I agree.
Yep, and I know it's also debatable, but I've said before, the Xenomorph is, I think, that arguably the greatest movie monster ever created.
It's a good one for sure.
Yeah.
What I'm assuming then you watched Prometheus?
Oh, yeah, unfortunately.
Okay, so you had the same reaction I did. A horrible piece of shit, right?
Yeah. They purposefully tried to crib some of Lovecraft's stuff from Mountains of Madness.
Yep.
It's just, is it a prequel or isn't it a prequel? What planet are we on? Oh no, it's not LP-426. It's L5. It's oh, these are aliens. No, they're not. They're not aliens yet because we want to squeeze in another movie. Oh, is this one an android? No, is she an android? I hate it. I hate it so much.
Damn.
Yeah, we went to go see it in the theater, and I was just so disappointed.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Visually, it's stunning, but content-wise, it's
Piece of shit.
Yeah.
Talk about plot holes.
There's someone was telling me, and I want to say it's at NYU. They used that movie in a screenwriting class about plot holes.
Oh, really?
To show you what not to do.
Exactly. They used that and episode 1.
I've talked about this on a podcast before, but I'm going to say it again because I think it merits. It's worth saying.
Just shut up.
I went to run a Star Wars game for my home group, and I said, "Oh man, I'm going to watch all the movies in a row. I'm going to spend a whole weekend. I'm going to watch." I got 20 minutes into Phantom Menace, so I turned it off. I said, "Never again. I can't do it." And it really ruined 4, 5, and 6 for me.
Yeah, it's I mean, it doesn't touch the originals for me because I mean it's so not created in that time, and it's not anything like the others. It's like you watch New Hope and then Empire and Jedi. They all start out with like action scenes. This one starts off about trade disputes. It's like what are we watching here?
These movies are predominantly for kids. I mean, they're not going to a trade dispute. Who gives a fuck?
Exactly. Yeah, where's the lightsabers?
Yeah.
And then I think he must have listened to his critics who said, "Where's the lightsabers?" Because episode 2 is 1,000 lightsabers.
That's true.
Yeah. The only redeeming quality for any of those movies is Ewan McGregor as Ben Kenobi was amazing.
I liked him, but and as an actor, I think he did a great job. But why did they start using him as the comic relief? It's like, isn't he supposed to be one of the greatest Jedi ever? It's like, oh, he loses his lightsaber. He needs to be saved all the time. It's like, whew.
Yeah. It seemed like he gave that role his full attention as he would any, indie film, and really just, got into it. And I mean, he was amazing.
Yeah, if the script is shit, you're not really going to come out with anything great. I mean, he did his best, and I think he's probably the best part of all. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. All right, and we'll wrap up here with, if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Oh wow, that's a good one. I think me and my cousins have debated this my entire life. Wow, that's a good one. And so on the spot. I guess everyone's. What's that?
I said, take your time.
I would probably go with teleportation.
A lot of people say that, yeah.
And not flight, because people don't realize that the super flight is that you would need super strength with super flight, because going so fast would just rip your skin off.
Duly noted.
So
Fly
teleportation.
slow.
Right. I mean, teleportation, you don't have to worry about the travel. You just get there and you get out. I mean, and maybe Nightcrawler style, bam, in and out.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dimension kind of shit.
Right, exactly. Smell of sulfur.
Yeah. And then you don't have to worry about turning into a fly.
Exactly, because then, Brundlefly.
Yeah.
I think I would go with teleportation, because that's probably the easiest one. And think of all the crazy things you could do with it. You want to go vacation somewhere, you want to be somewhere, bang, you're there.
That's true.
Do you get to take all your stuff with you then? Because that's
you could
There's
have
got to be some kind of like personal space thing that is involved with it.
And if you're teleporting, you just teleport into a bank vault and get whatever money you need, then teleport out, and then you got, I just buy new clothes over here.
Oh, there you go.
Teleport naked into the clothing.
Right.
Sweet. All right, Jason, we want to thank you for coming on. We appreciate you taking some time out to sit and bullshit with us for a little bit.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I mean, I wish I could have came on last time, but water decided to leak from my ceiling.
Never a good time.
Yeah.
Is everything all squared away? You guys all fixed up?
It wasn't even anything major, and the funny thing, the only thing that got water on it is this laptop that I'm talking to you from, and like the camera is a little bit blurry now, and I think that's the only damage.
Oh, of all the things, I guess that's not the worst thing that could have happened.
Nah, it's not too bad.
Cool. All right. Well, like I said, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. Well, if you have something to pimp going on in the future or some crazy things going on, we'd love to have you back on again.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'll come back anytime.
Maybe we'll get you on next time. Necronomicon, as far away as that is, but
Yeah.
Sure.
we'll do like a preview.
Yeah, absolutely.
The next one. Cool.
Cool.
The Necronomicon roundtable.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, we'll get Mike and Chris on. We'll do the whole thing.
You can argue about Batman and whatnot. That'll be.
There's nothing but Batman love going on right here.
Yeah. Oh, the feels again? Is that what?
Right. Yeah. Right in the bat feels.
Whoa! You get breakfast with that?
Awesome.
Jesus.
All right. You can check out Jason at Cryptocurium.com. We'll post up all the links in the show notes for the Twitters and all that stuff. So make sure you go check him out and subscribe to his Parcel of Terror box. It's a monthly subscription service. You get some really cool stuff in there, and it's all handmade. Definitely worth what you put out for it. And I guess that's all we've got. You could check us out on legendsoftabletop.com. You could shoot us an email at legendsoftabletop@gmail.com. You can check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're on iTunes. You could check our SoundCloud feed burner. If you Google it, you'll find us pretty much everywhere. So thanks for checking us out, and we'll catch you next time.
Word.